Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are at the Inspire Spiritual Community Sunday service. You are in the right place to just anchor love and peace. You are very important on the planet, especially now. And there's a reason we're here together. So we are going to have a great service in a couple of minutes. So get comfortable. If you want to have a glass of water nearby, go ahead and have a glass of water. Get comfortable in your seat. We will begin very, very shortly. We're letting people in. And as people come in, we'll just welcome them with love. We've got a great service lined up. Our theme this month is unity in community, and no one better to bring us that topic than our very own Reverend Carlton Tebout. So we've got a great service lined up. So glad to have Carlton back. So glad to have all of you here tuned in to the Inspire Spiritual Community service. You probably got a pop-up saying that the service is being recorded. That's a great thing because we record these services and the archives are available on our website. And in addition to our website, we have a YouTube channel. And it would be amazing if after this service, you would go to YouTube, search for Inspire Spiritual Community, and look at any video and give it a like, give it a thumbs up. And in addition to that, subscribe to our channel. It's great that we have this YouTube channel because you can get a dose of Inspire anytime you want it. You can share a link with your friends. And the other thing is when you like and subscribe, then YouTube pushes our videos out to more people. And that's how we get the message across. So by all means, after the service, go to YouTube, search for Inspire Spiritual Community and subscribe to the channel so that YouTube knows that people are interested in Inspire. That's the way we spread the message across the globe. We have a great service, so just get comfortable right where you are. Just a couple of announcements. Really important one. Save the date. December 9th, we will be having our holiday party at the Gateway Center. So save the date. Saturday, December 9th will be the Inspire Holiday Party. We're looking forward to getting together in person and having some food and some laughs and some love. So by all means, mark that date on your calendar. Also, on November 12th, Reverend Candace G will be our speaker. So we have another powerhouse coming up for the first service in November. Again, our theme for the month is unity in community. And I got to tell you, that is such a timely topic right now. So we're going to start with a meditation just to come together and let's anchor some peace and love within ourselves. So I invite you to get comfortable right where you are, placing your feet firmly on the ground, feeling the support of your chair, and allow your eyes to close. And when I close my eyes, I imagine that I can open my heart bigger. Imagine that. You're closing the outer eye, and we just imagine that our heart can open even wider. We become aware of our breath, inhaling deeply, I am, and exhaling completely, peace. We're anchoring peace with every breath. I am peace. And just hear that in your mind as you inhale deeply and exhale completely. and we enjoy a few moments in the stillness. Peace. Continuing to be aware of the heart. As you inhale, I am, and exhale, peace. Imagine that a light is shining through your heart. Feel the warmth of this light envelop you. Even with your eyes closed, you can imagine this light of peace going out around your whole room. Just imagine you're sitting in the vibration of peace because we chose to bring the vibration of peace into our meditation. We get to choose this with every breath. And we imagine this white light illuminates the whole building that you're in. The white light of peace illuminating the whole building that you're in. Again, inhaling deeply and exhaling completely, imagining that your heart is breathing peace. Let's let this light get bigger. Now the whole neighborhood is illuminated by this white light of peace. Continuing to inhale deeply. Continuing to exhale completely. I am peace. And there's so much love and peace present. In your mind, see the globe. And as you breathe through your heart, imagine that that white light of peace is shining through your heart and embracing the entire globe. We are here to anchor peace. Inhale peace. We exhale peace. Bringing your attention back to your body. Continuing to inhale deeply. Continuing to exhale completely. Invite you to wiggle your fingers and toes as I take a moment to speak a word of blessing for today's gathering. Mother, Father, God, infinite intelligence, I am thankful and grateful for this moment right here. Thankful and grateful for the unique and specific way that God is showing up this day as each of us and as all of us. For I know that God is all that there is, one power, one presence, life itself. God is all that there is, and all that there is God. And so if God's all there is and I exist, I must be created in the image and in the likeness and out of the very substance of God. There's no other way I could be created. As I know this truth for myself, I know the very same truth for everyone present, that we show up individually and collectively as God itself. This is a powerful, powerful meeting, for it's just God meeting God as each of us and as all of us. And so I'm thankful and grateful for the unique and specific way that Reverend Carlton Tebout shows up today, speaking the word of God on the topic of unity in community, allowing us to remember the truth of our very own divinity, allowing us to remember that a pure consciousness of love and peace changes the vibration of the entire planet. I'm thankful that we all kept this divine appointment. I'm thankful to know that as I release this prayer to the action of God's living, loving law, God takes over, guiding and directing us from glory to greater glory. It's easy, it's effortless, and it's embraced in love. So I'm thankful. I release this prayer to the action of the law, and so it is. Amen. Thank you, thank you, thank you once again. So glad you're here. This is the place to be, the Inspire Spiritual Community. Mark your calendars for Saturday, December 9th. That will be our holiday party. You'll get an email about it, but do mark the date. Also on November 12th, Reverend Candace will be our speaker. So without further ado, let us all anchor in Namaste and our mission statement. And I'll ask our very own Reverend Tom Hennessy to lead us, please.
Okay, everybody. Good morning. Beautiful Sunday. Let's anchor in first with Namaste, which is a Sanskrit meaning the God in me blesses the God in you. So all we need to do is put our hands in a prayer position right on our heart chakra. Bring it up to the root, to the third eye, back down to our lips, and then back down and bow forward and saying, Namaste. The God in me salutes the God in you. Okay, our mission statement. Inspire is a spiritual community of like-minded souls committed to walking, excuse me, committed to walking our talk in joyous fellowship by demonstrating the power of love, compassion, and non-judgment every day in every way. Recognizing the divinity of all life, we stand united by actively liberating humanity, by healing judgment, fear, and shame within ourselves. Our intention, and this is very important, to create world peace, piece by piece. Woohoo! Okay, back to you, Garrett.
Thank you, Reverend Tom. Thank you, everyone, for joining in our mission statement. So great to ground and anchor in that. And so now I have the privilege of introducing Reverend Carlton Tebout for today's message, Unity in Community. And just so you know, at the end of Reverend Carlton's talk, there will be an opportunity for questions and answers. And then following the question and answer, Reverend Carlton will lead us in a peace meditation and close us with prayer. Reverend Carlton, welcome.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. My joy to be here. And it might not be morning wherever you are and whenever you're viewing this. So, hello. Hello. My joy to be with you this morning, and what an amazing topic. First of all, thank you, Garrick, uh, Amina, Reverend Tom, for the space that you provide and the service that you provide, the love that you provide. It's so beautiful to step into, and that is community right there. This topic, unity and community, uh, you know, it I had a new thought, believe it or not. And what really came through to me is, there's so many communities right now, of all of the spaces that are in the physical and all the spaces that we used to participate in, and now we click on a Zoom link and we're in this community. And then there's so many things. If you just go through your feed, I know for myself, there are so many invitations to this community, that community. And how powerful is that? How powerful is that? Because I remember the day when you used to have to search, right? You have to search to find your community. But now there's so much available to us, and it says a lot about where the level of um, participation in expanding in a God of one's understanding is taking place. And so, there's part of me that's like, oh, there's so many. And there's part of me that is like, ah, there's so many. There is so much community available to us. Um, the new thought that I had around this is just being really present to how we step into community. So what I'm speaking to is, often we are looking for a community because and let me speak for myself. There was a time when I was searching for a community because I felt I needed something from community. I needed something to support myself in communing and being with people of like mind. But in reality, for me, and this is the thought I had this morning. Well, actually, it was a couple days ago, but it gelled. Is that we have a download. There is something that takes place within the very essence of our being that is calling us forth, or let's say seeking to emerge, revealing itself through us, that there's an activation of sorts that takes place, and it leads us to a particular community. And then as we step into that community, then the flow of creation and participation, and we can even say purpose, starts to unfold and take us through. So I will say for myself, when I came to LA, um, I've had many, many, many different communities, all of the different types of community that may not have been spiritual communities, but I've always kind of been part of a community. And when I came to LA, I was definitely in search of a spiritual community. And now in retrospect, I am very clear that there was something seeking to reveal itself through me in a particular way. And the communities that I stepped into were the stepping stones into where I am now in community. And I just want to be really present with that idea that when we're participating or joining or coming to community, we're bringing, we're revealing, we're allowing spirit to guide and sustain and escort us into this community. It's, to me, it's purposeful. It's divine order. It's a divine guidance. And yes, we get to participate in what the community has to offer, and we are bringing something to that community. So there is the reciprocal nature of the universe that is taking place in this particular way. And I also want to be very mindful when we do catch those I'll call it download. When we catch that download that, I want to experience this, or there's something calling me to that. That's more than just a whim. It's more than just circumstance. That is the evolution of the vision of spirit expressing as us. And as we are obedient and we follow through, again, look at what can take place. I'm sure this is an experience of all of us when we have stepped into community and all of a sudden magnificent things take place. So if we continue to nurture that energy, and I just want to again speak about the reciprocal nature of the universe. I've been revisiting, let's say, revisiting the core concepts of science of mind, and number 7, the seventh core concept is the reciprocal universe. With For every visible form, there is an invisible counterpart. This means that when what we receive corresponds to what we imagine and believe we can receive. So that's mental equivalency. But in the experience of community, just what I was speaking to, is there was something that was calling, something that we see, something that we feel, invitation or a pull, that as we enter and we follow, we receive, but we're bringing and giving. So that reciprocal nature of the universe is expressing through the individual and the collective as we step into community. And that's really important to stay mindful of as well, is that each one of us and each individual that is and steps into community is a necessary part of the whole, just like our individualized being is a necessary part of the whole. This is the the whole definition of unity, right? And that our awareness and our knowingness of our oneness in God, that God expresses as each unique and individualized being, that energy expresses through, in, and as our very essence. And that which we are is the thing itself. So we are a necessary part of the whole. We are a unified field of radiance, of love, of spirit. So just another aspect of community and what we bring individually to a community is, my 21-day meditation is a sweet community, and it's very evident for me. So I facilitate it, I lead it, I created it. Well, it was created through me, to be clear. It was created through me. But when I stepped into that, there was something that was calling me to create and to put this meditation practice out there for myself. There was something that was calling me to create this for myself. And the invitation for others to join was, it wasn't the first thought about it. It came after that. And so again, I wasn't seeking for community, but there was something that was calling me. And as I made myself available and made the room available, others joined in. And each one that participates in this meditation, each one that receives or comments or holds it in a particular space or practices or sits with the meditation later, each one is a necessary part of the whole for this community, this sweet community that we have, that we call 21-day meditation. And in the morning when we open up and we chat, there are conversations that are taking place everywhere. Each one brings something to the room, and there is a flow of energy that takes place. And now the evolution of it has taken folks to getting together on their own, creating other things, high conversations that are taking place outside of the room, outside of that contained community. So there's always an evolution and an expansion that is taking place through community. There is this circle of spirit that takes place, and it is always growing, always evolving, always expanding. I want to read from. I've been revisiting Emerson's essays, and this book is Emerson himself is amazing. One of the New Thought um, foundational teachers, and he's a mystic, but he's also a romantic. The way that he writes, his language is, I fall in love with it. But he speaks truth. He speaks truth. I'm going to read from page 212 from the essays Circles. The eye is the first circle. The eye is the first circle. The horizon which it forms is the second. And throughout nature, this primary picture is repeated without end. It is the highest emblem in the cipher of the world. St. Augustine described the nature of God as a circle whose center was everywhere and its circumference nowhere. We are all our lifetime reading the copious sense of the first of forms. One moral we have already deduced is considering the circle or compensatory character of every human action. Another analogy we shall now trace, that every action admits of being outdone. Another analogy we shall now trace, that every action admits of being outdone. Our life is an apprenticeship to the truth that around every circle, another circle can be drawn, that there is no end in nature, but every end is a beginning, that there is always another dawn risen and mid-moon. There is another dawn risen on mid-noon, and under every deep, a lower deep opens. The fact, as far as it symbolizes the moral fact of the unattainable, the flying perfect, around which the hands of man can never meet. At once the inspirer and the condemner of every success may conveniently serve us to connect many illustrations of human power in every department. There are no fixtures in nature. The universe is fluid and volatile. Permanence is but a word. Permanence is but a word of degrees. Our globe, seen by God, is a transparent law, not a mass of facts. The law dissolves the fact and holds it fluid. Fluid, ever expanding, ever evolving. In a circle, yes, but in a spiral, more so. That the flow of divine intelligence reveals itself through all activity. So in the reciprocal nature of the universe, there is still the ever-evolving, ever-expanding flow. This is one of the universal laws and principles that we have at Agape, is that the universe, being infinite, is in a constant state of evolutionary expansion. We live in a non-static, ever-evolving universe, which is the source of our individual evolutionary impulse and our capacity to expand into our fullest potential, which is infinite. Each individual's expansion contributes to the evolutionary progress of the whole, a necessary part of the whole, the circle of creation and the evolution and expansion. So in the moments of what may appear to be challenge, crisis, war, there's that level of separation that takes place. There's the level of heartache that we feel into. And through that, as we become present with, not negating or denying what we're experiencing in the human realm, but as we continue to be present to the absolute truth, to the circulation of spirit, and to the ever evolving, ever expanding way, through each challenge, through each bit of crisis, we get to come back to what is true and what is real, and to expand and evolve and expand in our loving. So it becomes an opportunity for us to be so very present with ourselves. For us, being people who, folks who practice, let me just change my view here. For us that are practicing, we're sensitive, right? We're sensitive to all of the activity that is taking place. We're sensitive to the the, the energy that we feel, that not only that we're bombarded with visually and information and all of the information that comes from different perspectives, but there is a sensitivity that we have just if we've never heard anything about it. I know for myself, I felt the weight of what's going on in Gaza. I feel it. And the opportunity we have is to be present with that, right? To just be so very present. There, trust me, often I want to not have that in my attention. I really want to really move past the visuals or what I hear from wherever I hear. But we must be present to it. I must be present to it. I've said yes to a thing. I said yes to being emissary of love and peace. And so the way that we do that, it begins with us. It begins with being present and loving with ourselves. And then we create the space for truth to reveal, space for to even listen or see from an expanded awareness. From those same core concepts that I was speaking, the fifth core concept is wholeness. In these days right now where there is conversation and there's perspective and there's so many different energies that we're being exposed to on this side, that side, this happened, that happened. I mean, and it's not just about the Middle East, that it takes place everywhere. It takes place in our own communities. It takes place in this mind right here. But what we really need to know, and this is the core concept, is that spirit is a transcendent, perfect whole, a perfect whole that contains and embraces all seeming opposites. A perfect whole that contains and embraces all seeming opposites. As human beings, we have free will and we can choose what we experience, whether it be positive or negative. The same principle that brings us freedom, prosperity, and joy also allows us to experience bondage, lack, misery. It's all according to our consciousness. So when we feel into that energy that is taking place, we have to be so very present to what we're allowing ourselves to hold in this space. I'm one to absolutely give myself the room to hold a particular level of sadness or grief or whatever the particular uh, experience may be. And I know that I am holding it from my true and absolute being, which is love and peace. And as we work, as we practice, as we meditate and pray and come together in community, we get to create that container that is spacious enough to hold both at the same time. And when we give that attention, our love and our peace is our true nature, which is so much more than anything unlike it. Richard Rohr, it's Richard Rohr, speaks to this. Polarities, dualism, and seeming opposites are not opposites at all, but part of a hidden and rejected wholeness. Separation. The task of true religion is to rebind in Latin, religio, rebind that which is torn apart by temperament, ignorance, and institutionalized evil. Our purpose is to rebind, remember, come together, allow where we're being called to come together in community, to unite in a field of peace, a field of love, our true nature. It's not easy. It's not easy when things are taking place like this. But we get to be so very present with ourselves. We get to be so very present that when that judgment comes up, or when that, when that hit comes up to that, so we judge the activity, and for myself, I judge the polarization of each side, and I'm judging that there's polarization in the first place. So there's something going on in here. There is a combat taking place in here right from the start. So our work is to really be present with ourselves. So again, however we receive the information, however it comes to us, and whatever our energy is, the first thing that we have to do is unite within. Know the oneness of God that I am. Become so steeped in that peace and that love that I was speaking to just a moment ago, and continue to remember. So continue to allow that circle of energy to take place. Continue to come back to the reminding, the rebinding, and the evolution and expansion. So we continue to create this container. And as we create it in ourselves, as we're clearing up the space within ourselves, we get to connect with each other. We get to connect with each other. And every time that we remember and expand in community, we expand the awareness of peace. So I want to be so present with what's been taking place with me around this, is that the idea that we can feel this energy that is taking place on the planet. And again, not just in the Middle East, but all over the place, when we're feeling into that energy, and there is that to me, it's almost like a hit, or sometimes it's very subtle, and I'll be walking in an energy that I'm not real clear how this is, what's going on, and then I realize, oh, I'm feeling into the oneness of the universe, to the connection that is taking place, the connectivity that is each of us as the one of us, and there is an activity that is taking place that is causing pain. I feel that. And what I know is that I have the opportunity to radiate that joy and that love that I'm speaking to. And when we come together in any given situation, when two or more come together, we activate a field of love, a field of peace. And when we come together in a big collective, we magnify that love, that peace. And as we magnify that love, that peace, that is what is going out into the universe. That is what is being felt by those who may not be feeling it in that moment. So we can be reciprocal with that energy. We can continue to expand and clear up the space that is here, and allow the love that is our very essence to expand. And as we connect, as we unify in community, that love, we're bombarding the planet with that love. So this is what we get to do as we unite in community. This is what we get to hold in this space. So I'm going to end with writing from Inner Visions. And it is from our sister, Amy Perry, a godly licensed spiritual practitioner. And she speaks to letting the edges fade, letting the edges fade. And what this means to me and what I see, the visual that I've had after I read it, and I want to say it before just so you get a wider idea of the the intention behind the writing, is that letting the edges fade. When I went into meditation after this, I actually saw the the um, planets, the planet, but the greens and the forests and the cities and all of the activity that is taking place. And I saw the edges fade, that what is really going on here is one whole. And as we release the idea of us and them, otherness, polarity, and we become unified in our community, those edges fade. We come together whole. So let me read this beautiful writing. It's entitled Harvest, and it starts with a quote from Mirabai Star. It says, "You step outside to snip chives, just as the harvest moon is rising. Scissors suspended in your hand, tears pooling. You never quit breathing. Your gaze softens, and the edges of your individual identity fade." Amy writes, "Every day I take off down the dirt road we live in to get some exercise. My habit is to take a couple plastic grocery bags with me to pick up litter. The other day, an older man driving an even older beat-up Toyota pickup stopped and asked me if I needed a ride. Happens more often than you think. Someone asking me if I need a ride. I've learned not to take it personally. Apparently, I don't look like an athlete cultivating ripped thigh muscles, but more like someone carrying their groceries who could use a ride. Anyway, I said, no, thank you. He spoke lovely broken English. He started chatting. He told me about his family. He showed me photos, and I could feel how much he loved them. He told me he was delivering his vegetables to a local inn. By this time, he'd gotten out and he was back at the bed of the truck, whipping back the tarp to show me his morning harvest. Reaching in, he pulled out two big, beautiful red-skinned potatoes, still encrusted in the dirt. "These are for you. Please take them. They are very good." I didn't need convincing, and I just happened to have a bag to carry them. He waves, driving away. I wave back, head home, marvel at how sweet he is, wash the potatoes, and center them on the kitchen table. That night, I use them for some soup. I slice into the biggest, and it happens sometimes. The potato grows faster than its innermost tissue, and so the cells pull apart, leaving a small space in the middle. My blade follows through, and it splits apart, and I see a perfectly shaped little heart. His heart, my heart. I nearly quit breathing as all the edges fade. And her affirmation is, I let all the edges fade. I open my heart to the wonders of this friendly universe. I receive a bountiful harvest of love. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Carlton. Wow. Rich, rich, rich as always. Don't know if we can go any deeper, but if anyone has a question, we have a couple of minutes for question and answer. You're welcome to raise your hand. And when I call on you, you can unmute and ask a question. Very rich topic, unity, in community and letting the edges fade. I love that, Carlton. Um, as uh, as you're deciding if you want to ask a question or not, again, I want to just let you know that November 12th, Reverend Candace G will be our speaker, and December 9th is our holiday party. No questions. Reverend Carlton, you're so clear and so succinct that we don't have any questions. So at this moment, I'm just going to just remind everyone that after the service, you can go back to the email that you received with the link to today's service. There's a donate button there. And I invite you to make a donation of any amount, because whatever you give makes a difference. We are now a global community and we want to get the message out to as many people as we can. So we do have expenses. So any donation, you can go to inspirespiritualcommunity.org/donate, or again, go to that email reminder that had the link to today's service. You can click the donate button there. Also, again, I want to remind you, go to YouTube directly and search for Inspire Spiritual Community. Look at a video, like it, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel, because the more subscribers we have, the more YouTube will present our videos to other people who are seeking spirituality. So we definitely want to get the word across to as many people as we can, so that we can do our part towards a world that works for everyone. And so now I'm going to invite Reverend Carlton to lead us in a peace meditation. And then at the end of the meditation, he will anchor us with our closing prayer. Reverend Carlton.
Awesome. Thank you, thank you. And thank you, Garrick, for the meditation that you led us in the beginning. So we'll be open the portal and we will anchor that truth, that peaceful energy. I want to just be present to, what I spoke about in the feeling, and how we can activate and magnify peace and love. So let that be our intention as we create space, come together in this present moment. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for community and the unified field of love and peace that is present always, and in particular, present right here and now. Through this collective consciousness that is present live, and for whomever is listening to us, leaning into this field now, I'm grateful. It is in the spaciousness of gratitude that we open our hearts even wider to the full recognition of a power and a presence that is peace, that is love, that is God is. And it is the very essence of our being. The nature of God is the nature of each of us as the one of us, this unified field here in this moment now. So the attributes of the divine are the attributes of each of us. So light, love, peace. So let us open our hearts even wider and magnify that light. Magnify that peace. Magnify love. as we connect heart to heart. Pure presence. We become still. As one. Unity. Let us magnify peace. As we continue to expand, evolve in the radiance of peace, of love, of light. This peace and love and light that is our nature calls into it anything that is unlike it and transcends. This magnification of our unified field touches each one as the one of us. So it is in the full awareness of this, the full awareness of a power and a presence that expresses in its fullness everywhere, is ever evolving, ever expanding. This boundless, changeless, absolute, infinite, eternal presence that we call God is, and it is all that there is, expressing itself through and as each of us as the one of us, each of us an emanation of the one, peace, love, light. It is our very nature. So it is from this awareness, knowing that there is only the one activity taking place, God being God as God, everywhere and always. We expand in this realization of our peace, of our light, of our love. We know that it is the very nature of our being, and it supports all activity. We have said yes to a thing. We have said yes to coming together in this particular way, in this particular day, right here, right now. And so we extend this awareness. We extend this awareness to each one on the planet, each one who is coming into our awareness, the planet itself, knowing that this radiance of love, light, peace is a harmonious feeling. And that right action moves forward from this moment now. We allow our love, our peace, our light to be the healing presence. What is known by one and what is known in this collective field is possible to be known by all. This I know for sure. So I give great thanks. I give great thanks for the opportunity to be steeped in this truth. I give great thanks for the collective consciousness that is here, that is anchoring and expanding and magnifying the peace that is the very essence of God, the love that is the very essence of God, the light that is the very essence of God, expressing through in and as this wholeness that is life itself. So giving great thanks for the word spoken here and now, I release it into the perfect action of the law, calling it so. And so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Carlton. Thank you, everyone, for being present. Thank you for anchoring peace. There's a reason we're here on the planet right now, to bring light. Let us remember that throughout the day, throughout the week. And I'll see you at the next service. Blessings.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.